Stefan, Laurel.
Hi.
Hi, my name's Andrew.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, good to meet
And
you.
the little one?
Leah.
Hi, Leah. Well, if you guys want to come with me, we'll get started here. So what brings you folks into DePaco today?
Well, we'd actually like to open a bank account here, or a credit union account.
No, it's good.
Don't really know the
Very
difference.
good. That's good. Well, that's kind of where we'll start out. A couple major differences I always like to kind of touch on. Credit unions are non-for-profit cooperatives, meaning that, well, we'll kind of get into it a little bit more. Banks are for-profit. A big difference is that the board of directors for credit unions are volunteer. They're local community volunteers. They don't get paid any money. They're interested in the community. They're interested in the members of the credit union. Whereas the bank, they're paid directors. When you open an account here with us, you become a member of the credit union, which is kind of a nice feature. You actually have some say, whereas with the bank, it's more kind of geared towards pleasing the stockholders. Obviously, you guys will be probably depositing between $500,000 and $700,000, right? This particular.
Of course,
Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
20 something.
So I noticed it's not FDIC insured. I always notice that it's usually FDIC insured. What is the NCUA?
NCUA, great question. The NCUA is a government agency, just like FDIC, so they sort of work in tandem. The NCUA just happens to insure all the credit unions' money.
Okay.
So same as the FDIC, insured up to $250,000 per titling. So great question. Basically, to become a member, all we ask is for a minimum, you keep a minimum balance of $25, and that kind of goes back into the concept of once that money goes into the account, it kind of goes into the credit union, and then that helps kind of increase our deposit percentages, reduce our loan percentages, and it kind of becomes a communal, kind of goes into a communal pot and helps out on that level. So. And you have to be in this area. We service 24 counties. We have 12 locations, all the way from Cedar Rapids to Platteville. So that kind of goes into to what you have to live or work in that area to become a member. So obviously you qualify for that. Fantastic.
What would happen if we would move? Do we need to change?
No, you don't. Actually, there's a couple different things. I'll kind of get to it here in a moment, but we are a member of the. We do have shared branching. And what shared branching is, it's kind of so credit unions kind of answer to big banks. You know, U.S. Bank and things like that are on every corner.
Banks, yeah.
And so to compete with that, we're a member of a group where essentially you can go into, there's over 5,000 credit unions as a part of the shared branching network. Okay. And you can actually go to any of these credit unions and do your banking as if you were here. So it's kind of cool. So if you were to move, you'd still be able to access your accounts. I'll just kind of show you here. So if we just wanted to find just theoretically what's in Minneapolis, just go to shared branching. So it'll look like this, and I'll type in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Find now. There you are. So just to show you all the different places in Minneapolis. So I don't know, there's probably 10 or so. Just immediately pop up. Yeah. So I'll just kind of show you some nice features. So let's just say theoretically we're going to go to Spire Credit Union. Sounds like a great place. Don't want to call them. It has a map. It'll show you the location. It'll give you a phone number, lobby hours, drive-through hours, and it'll actually give you specific walking directions. Yeah, so kind of a nice feature. That way if you travel or next time you're in Minneapolis. Yeah. Some benefits, obviously, besides the fantastic service here at DePaco, you do automatically get a $1,500 accidental death and dismemberment insurance policy. So obviously something very exciting to talk about. But it is a nice thing that all our members get. So it's something that we feel is a nice little benefit. Additionally, there is a life insurance policy that does potentially match up to $2,500. So obviously some nice little perks. We do have DePaco Insurance Services. This is a free service to all of our members. What I like to do is when I open an account and kind of begin a membership, I like to kind of get the car information so that we can go ahead and get you a free quote and see. Yeah, absolutely. All of our agents are independent agents, so they'll basically shop the best deal for you and then present that to you, and hopefully we beat it, and if not, you you can go ahead and continue
Yeah.
on with your current situation. You folks, do you have home insurance?
We rent. We have
We
renters
rent, yeah,
insurance.
Okay, renters insurance. Great. Well, we can go ahead and get you a few quotes. We can talk about this a little bit more kind of as we progress,
Sure.
but just something to look at. You've probably seen this too. I just want to mention this quickly, the Money Makeover. Have you folks
Yeah, I've
seen
seen the
this?
commercials.
Yeah, we have it a lot. And what it is, it's basically, we like to get our members in here, and we can do it if you have time today. We like to kind of just look at, because we're going to be pulling credit anyway, kind of just take a peek at what's out there, what kind of rates you're currently paying,
Yeah.
see if we can
Yeah.
consolidate anything, see if we can match or beat any rates that you have out there as well. One thing too, we could talk about opening up a little account for the little one here. I know she's very, very young,
Yeah.
but we do have a type of account called an UTMA account. And what it is it's an account that we could open that you would have access to, so that if any checks were made to her for any like birthdays or anything like
okay.
that, you could deposit or
that's
cash. Wanted to talk to you a little about You Name It savings. I kind of touched on in the beginning.
Mhm.
It's a really popular thing that a lot of people have started to take advantage of. What it is it's just an additional savings essentially that you can add to your account. It doesn't cost anything, but it's basically a budgeting tool. So a lot of people do them. They'll have like one for their daughter or one for their dog or one for whatever bills, fun money.
Saving
or
up
kind
for
of-
the wedding in 20 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And or college. But
Yeah.
these are kind of just some examples there. So what I'd like to do is kind of once we get opening specifically, we can kind of pick one or two things you might want down the road. We do have a few different kinds of checking accounts. We have a free checking account, which we typically ask for a minimum of $50 to open. But that's just in the event of incidentals such as checks or anything like
Right.
that. But it is totally free. There are no monthly fees. There are no annual fees. You'll see absolutely nothing there.
Yeah.
Lots of nice advantages. It comes with a debit card, as does our first rate checking, which we do have an interest-bearing checking account. I know you folks said that in the
Yeah.
past you've had one with interest. It does have a minimum balance, but there are some really nice advantages to that as well. One nice thing is we are a member of the privileged status group, which sounds very regal. But what it is there's a group of ATMs. It's a group that you can basically go and you can use your ATM at a lot of different institutions and such, and it will there are no fees associated with that. You can use it, I believe, up to 8 times a month. And
Okay.
in the back here, I'll kind of show you what I like to call the tobacco Bible here. There's all sorts of goodies, and one of which has all the different ATMs to which you can use. So,
Okay.
and it's also on our handy dandy little app that I
Yeah.
will
Oh, yeah.
talk
Yeah.
about here shortly. So just another kind of cool feature with the Money Card is you can get a personalized photo card. Ooh. So what it is, it's basically just your normal debit MasterCard, but you can actually put any picture you'd like on there. So
Yeah.
this just happens to be my lake house in the hills.
It's a high quality picture too.
It is a high quality picture, thank you. Yeah, so that's kind of a nice thing. We can go ahead and upload something, maybe a picture of your daughter or something like that. So, are you familiar with what actually makes up credit?
Not at all.
Not at all? Well, it's kind of cool. I feel like a lot of people don't actually know. So we'll kind of go over it a little bit, and then we'll look at your credit report here. So a few main factors we always like to focus on, one being capacity, and one in payment history, of course. Capacity is literally how much money is out there that can be lent to you versus how much is actually on there. So if you had $5,000 credit card and you had $4,999 on it, you would literally have 1% or zero capacity.
Yeah. Okay.
So that actually, similarly, if you had a $1,000 credit card and you had $0 on it, you would have 100% capacity. Capacity allows you the possibility of 100 points on your credit score. So that makes up 30%. A lot of people don't know really about that. Other than that, payment history, 35%. So do you pay your bills on time? And then other than that, there's just a mix, kind of a length of credit, how long you've had credit established, mix of credit, how much installment, meaning how much monthly kind of payment loans versus your revolving debt, which is your credit cards, lines of credit, that sort of thing. And then accumulation of debt. So how much debt have you added in the last 12 to 18 months? So just to begin here, you have a fantastic credit score. Your credit score is 778. Which, kind of looking over here, I'll show you kind of some numbers. They usually say like 840 is probably the top end. 720 and up is kind of your A buyer, so that's very, very good. Just kind of looking at a few things here, I see that you have 100% revolving credit availability. So right off the top, you're obviously managing your credit cards well. One thing I always like to do, obviously, we like to get our Visa Platinum in our members' hands. It's a very, very low interest credit card, and even if you don't use it, it's a great thing to have because it'll help raise that capacity.
Right.
So even if we do $1,000 limit and you cut it up or throw it in your lockbox or something like that, it's a great opportunity to help
Right.
improve your capacity. Other than that, your payment history, obviously, you paid in the last, this is 30, 60, 90 days for your installment,
Gotcha.
revolving, and mortgage payments. And it's all zeros, meaning you have not missed a payment.
Right.
So obviously you pay extremely well.